On this week's Beef Sticks podcast, we do predictions for NWA's HardxTimes pay-per-view. And we also gear up for WWE's big event, the first big one of the year, the Royal Rumble. Plus, so much news in the Savage Sentinel. But first, this.
Touching hands. You know it. Reaching out. Touching me. Touching you. Sweet Caroline. Your time never seemed so good. I've been inclined to believe it never would, but
now I'm ready to kick off this episode of Beef Sticks Podcast. Thank you for that very sultry and sexy.
Suck sexy. We like the sucky sexy. And a little sexy sucky. Yes, Fat Mack is a little gruff, as Paystee would put it today, with a little bit of a cold. It's just working its way through the throat. You know how it is. It might just be all them babies fucking rattling up in there.
Bouncing off
We
the
don't know.
Never know. Buoyant. We've got a hell of a show for you this week as we're coming off of Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Cruise.
Boy, do we.
Yes.
Or should I say, boy, booey.
Oh.
Okay, I shouldn't have said
Cut that ship out. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, it was just a wave I was going through. So, all right, let's turn the tides here.
It was pretty good show this week. It didn't exactly come live, and it was pretty obvious when they censored the audience in quite a few different locations.
Quite a bit. Well, the audience was pretty drunk too, as you'll find most cruise ship members.
Yeah.
It was
like 2,500 male wrestling marks with money. They're the loudest ones.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would love to go on the cruise. I would love to go on the cruise. I would love to see all of the events. I would love to check out all the wrestlers. But I feel like I would be so fucking annoyed within the first half hour. Like, I don't feel like I could stand any of the Patreons there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Too many people too close together on a cruise for me. That's where I sit with it.
Yeah. Too many, like you said, too many young male wrestling fan entitled douches. Let's just admit it. The majority of them are douches. There's a handful of people that scraped and saved throughout the year to make their way to this, but they're mostly entitled douches. Let's just be honest.
I'd say that, yeah.
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 But they're still having
and
a
it's
better
definitely
time
not a
than we are.
cruise you'd go on hoping to find love.
No. Looking for love in all the wrong places there.
But who would have thought Jon Moxley is the crooner of our time? What a wonderful ballad that was as he did his rendition of Sweet Caroline.
He is a crooner and a cruiser.
That's great. I want that to be his new gimmick. Like, if he was in WWE at this time, Vince would be like, that's what you're doing now.
But then nobody would like it.
Good shit. Well, we're talking about the cruise, and before we hit up our sponsors, I think we might as well talk about some of the other news that kind of rumors and emanating from around the area of the Jericho Cruise, in which Kenny Omega had stated something along the lines of they're looking to have a trios championship and a trios division. I also heard something about a women's tag team division. And then before we linked up, you had said something that I didn't hear.
About the intergender tagging?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's talks of there being intergender matches, and there may be some some house shows that have had it or something, but
Uh-huh.
it's all speculation. We don't know anything, you know. I mean,
Well,
WWE's been talking about
1 week removed
trios,
from
tag
our reviews
titles.
of Impact's Hard to Kill pay-per-view, and I'm guaranteeing you Tessa Blanchard is going to make our most impactful Beefy Award next year, because she's already fucking flipped the whole world on its head this week.
Oh, she's already affected AEW and WWE, let alone how much she's affected Impact Wrestling and just pro wrestling in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. And you can stuff your crazy stuff into my QualiTees t-shirt, brought to you by my friend, That Dude Saint. And of course, my QualiTees t-shirt is a Cloud Style Broadcasting Cloud Puff logo. And it fits me so nice. I love it. I love him for hooking us up with the things we need to bring our brand to you. And he can do the same for you with fine quality custom tees featuring sublimation, heat transfer vinyl, and decals. And if you don't got a logo of your own, he can design one for you. And then he can slap it on your shirt, or he can slap it on your arm or your forehead, because this dude is also a licensed tattoo artist.
Oh, snap.
Yeah! Big shit popping over in the QualiTees circle. And I'm glad to be on the team. And of course, we have Monster Wear Clothing, bringing you your small runner bulk orders on decals, stickers, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, glassware, jerseys, and many other types and styles of fabrics, along with custom graphics and logo design services offered. Man, Monster Wear Clothing is your one-stop shop for self-branding needs. Partner that with QualiTees, and you won't go wanting for the rest of your days.
We do not want you to be wanting.
Right. And the rest of your days, Fat Mack, there is 7 days in a week, and now it is time for this week in pro wrestling history.
Yes, folks, and we're going to hop in the Wayback Machine way, way back, before old Paystee was even born. 36 years ago, my friends. 36 years ago, on January 23rd, 1984, Hulk Hogan defeated the Iron Sheik to win the WWF Championship in Madison Square Garden. Hogan's win arguably gave birth to the modern era of professional wrestling, where charisma and showmanship was emphasized over skill and in-ring talent. Now, though Bob Backlund, the previous long-term champion, had been a popular champion, by the time Vince "I Love Chocolate Titties" McMahon took over the WWF full-time in 1982, fans had grown tired of the clean-cut Bob Backlund. Now, Backlund had refused a heel turn, which may have revitalized his career, and on December 26, 1983, Backlund lost the WWF Championship to the dastardly foreigner, the Iron Sheik. Sheik would then serve as a transition to the Hulkamania era, with Hulk Hogan as champion and the new face of the WWF. The company, and albeit the entire sport for that matter, exploded in popularity with new and growing audiences. This also helped usher in what is remembered fondly as the Rock and Wrestling Connection, Paystee, where the WWF would incorporate popular rock and pop stars into their storylines and marketing.
Ooh. I'd say I remember those days, but I definitely don't.
But it most definitely was the biggest pivot in modern pro wrestling times.
Yes.
Hands down.
No doubt about it.
And 36 years ago, it seems like either so long or not that long. It's hard for me to determine what I think it was. When you think of it being...
These names are all so familiar, and like we've seen them on our TV screens in recent days.
Oh, yeah. When you think of Hulk Hogan, Bob Backlund, and Iron Sheik, they've all been on WWE TV at least in the 2000s.
Yeah. Bob Backlund even more recently when he was Darren Young's manager. Make Darren great again.
Right, and Hulk Hogan even more recently than that, last year at Saudi Arabia.
And maybe this year at WrestleMania versus Vince McMahon himself.
Oh, I'm the only person in the world that really wants to see that match.
I just want Hogan to have God in his corner.
You can't be stealing Sean's gimmick.
God strikes back and Hogan beats Vince, and then Vince leaves and gets in his limousine and it explodes.
All I have to say is I wonder what JR would have to say about that.
Well, let's find out in this week's token, JRR.
So I thought that Mick did a good job for us, and I'm so glad. Watching the show back, I did work the show with Ventura. Tony was there, a cowboy, as we discussed. Tony had a nice haircut there, too. What happened? How many toes you got now? No. So, anyway, what was I saying about...
There's a fan behind you guys.
How many toes you got there now?
Just kind of all over the place on that one, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't think anything was connected to anything there. He's
really just
traveling through time in his mind as he sits there.
I just want to spend a day in his head. I think it'd be a fun ride. It's just he goes nonstop. I don't think he's senile.
Donate your brain to science, friend.
Right? I don't think he's senile. I think he just doesn't know where. It's like a train that just doesn't have any actual stops. So it just drives for a while and then stops randomly and hopes it's somewhere where it's supposed to be, at least roughly. And then every now and then, it hops on the old CB and hits up old CT Conrad Thompson. Hurrah! What were we talking about there again? There was a guy behind you with a sign. Oh, shit!
I love it.
It's funny stuff.
It's ridiculous.
He had great hair, though.
Kind of like this pay-per-view that we've been waiting for weeks to come together so we can actually cast our predictions.
And now it is. It seems like it's completely together, although we will be making some guesstimations. Obviously, it's a one-night tournament, which, for the record, I'm a huge fan of one-night tournaments. I miss them. I wish we'd do more of them, and I recently watched WrestleMania 4 with their one-night tournament to crown the WWF champion. Spoiler, it was Macho Man, but that's just so fun, such a badass. I love one-night tournaments. I wish they'd do that with King of the Ring. They haven't for years. They've done it as like a multi-night
thing. Best of the
thing.
Super Juniors.
Yeah, exactly. Like what New Japan does. New Japan does it often, and I love it.
Yeah, but they also have those like 20-night tournaments too.
They do. And this one's fun. It looks like there's some really good matches. Paystee, I guess you're going to throw a few out as we go, which is fine.
Yeah.
Because with everything coming together, it's kind of hard to decide what you wanted to do.
Exactly, and when you got to get it down to the weirdness, I figure you might as well wait till the last minute.
When you got to get it down to the weirdness, folks, you might as well tune into Beef Sticks Podcast.
Yes, indeed. Fat Mack, I can hardly believe it's times to cast our predictions for NWA Hard Times.
I love the title Hard Times.
It's so great. Can it be a division sign next year?
It could be.
Hard
I like also how...
times.
I like how...
women's show now, aren't they? Hard Divided Times would just make sense.
I like how AEW is using old NWA titles, and NWA is using old Dusty Rhodes phrases. It's just fucking awesome.
Forgot to copyright this one, Cody.
Yeah, Cody, where were you with the Hard Times?
For 2 years. But I'll sell it to you for $30 million.
To be fair, maybe Cody might own the term Hard Times. That's why they made it Hard Times. You don't own Hard Times. Fucker.
You can't own multiplication.
Can you even do it? Oh.
Well, he has no children, so I don't think so.
with that being said, Paystee, we're going to start this one off with, which may be the opening match, and it's with